Game of Thrones Season 8 is almost upon us, and we've got to get caught up on all these crazy theories about how Game of Thrones will end. In this video, I'm going to go over the theory that the Night King will actually win, defeating all of the protagonists in the final season. Join our fast-growing community of nerds and have your voice become a part of the content by participating in our polls and Q&As. Oh, and subscribing helps. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Now, before we get into this crazy theory, I need to shout out Marina Krinian, who got the nerd card question correct in one of the recent Game of Thrones videos. You definitely know your stuff, so shout out to you, and we will do another nerd card question at the end of this video. Bitter sweet. That is a phrase that has been on my mind for a while. This is what George R.R. Martin told fans to expect when it came to the end of Game of Thrones. It's actually the one thing that's preventing me from going all in on this theory that the Night King will just win and kill everyone. Because frankly, that ending's not bittersweet. That's just bitter. It's bitter. You see, the White Walkers are an obvious metaphor for nuclear weapons. George is kind of a big hippie and doesn't really like war. He talks about how humans are complex, there's a lot of gray morality, but war is bad, prophecy is bad, religion tends to be bad. It's kind of the theme of things. And so a story in which this fictional weapon known as the White Walkers ended up destroying an entire continent from, a war that had started on there, I think that would kind of make sense for what George is going for. But, that's, like I said, not bittersweet. That's just bitter. However, there are a lot of theories that suggest the Night King is actually after something in particular. And so there is still a couple of scenarios in which the Night King wins, doesn't kill everybody, but gets what he is after. Some people even theorize that this would mean that a lot of the deaths trying to prevent the Night King and that army from marching south were completely unnecessary, and had these people just gotten out of the way, the Night King would just go down, get what he's looking for, and then leave. Maybe the only reason he amassed this crazy army of the dead is because he knows that mankind will not let him just do what he wants. A lot of people point out to the fact that George doesn't really write characters that are all bad or all good. Everybody exists on kind of a grade scale. And even though we haven't spent a lot of time with the Night King, you can probably assume that he's not just some mindless evil beast. That's just not the kind of antagonist that George likes to write. There's a few things I like about this theory. Number one, that it sort of makes sense in the perspective of the Night King actually coming down into Westeros. Like, why was he waiting so long? Maybe he was waiting for the dragons, waiting for, to get all of this army. But essentially, he's probably just waiting for the dragons so that he can then blow up the wall and get to where he's going. So it would explain why he doesn't kill Jon and Daenerys and Drogon when he, easily could have, and instead kills Viserion, then turning him into a white. That scene's always bugged me. It's like, what? Bro, Jon is right there. Daenerys is right there. There's a way bigger dragon right there. Why didn't you just kill them? They might be asking, like, what could the Night King actually be after? Well, some people think it's actually the Night's Queen, the old bride that he had, which could be the woman that the 13th Lord Commander fell in love with. Perhaps he's looking for a female like her or a new Night's Queen to further replicate the dying out species of the White Walkers. And from the very beginning of Game of Thrones, the symbols that I've used have always sort of reminded me of like DNA, these spirals, these different sparks here. I do believe that this is referring to genetics, and there's a lot of precedence for genetics mattering in Game of Thrones. What if the Night King's just trying to come down and get a honey so that he could, get it on and keep having little White Walker babies? Some people believe that the Night King is trying to get to this place where he was actually first created by the children of the forest. If he gets there, maybe he can destroy himself or maybe turn the curse around so that he can be normal human guy again. And wouldn't that suck? Like, they spent all this time fighting this guy. He gets to this isle and then turns himself back into a human. And he's like, okay, my bad. It's the only way I could do that. And they're all just like, dude, bro, really? Now, in these two scenarios, it would still probably involve the Night King, like, wreaking some major havoc. He's got that dragon. He's got a massive army. He'd be crushing fools, just taking out a ton of people. But there's this possibility that when he gets what he desires, he's really not interested in killing anybody else after that and just goes back to the lands of always winter, sort of retreating back over the wall. That'd be kind of interesting. They lose, but don't lose completely because the Night King wasn't really trying to destroy them. That'd be kind of an interesting way to go, and maybe that bittersweet ending that George is talking about. Now, I should mention that very few Game of Thrones fans actually think that this will happen. There's a small contingent of fans that think that this could happen, but most people think that, nah, they're going to probably defeat the Night King in this final season, but who knows? Wanted to bring it up and talk about it. What do you think about this theory? You think it's going to happen? You think there's no way? Will the Night King kill everybody? That'd be kind of a cool ending. Very, very far-fetching, but I'd like it. Whatever your thoughts are about that and anything else Game of Thrones, let me know in the comment section. Oh, and is there another theory you want me to cover before we get to Season 8 of Game of Thrones? Let me know. But that's going to do it for this video, but let's check the nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the name of that place where the Night King was created by the Children of the Forest? Answer that in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.